So a while back, a couple months ago, I did a video talking about like my Blu Ray collection, and that actually received a lot of buzz about it. And yeah, I decided, what would be kind of fun since my Blu-ray collection is kind of expanding every so often. I thought I'd talk about the new Blu-rays I get, along with repeating some of the classic video movies as well. And maybe just do this as like every few months. I'll just talk about my Blu-ray collection, and for any new subscribers as well as anyone who's like, oh, cool, that's a movie you got. Yeah. So I figured, what the hell, right? I don't think I'll do another like updated DVD collection because I'm trying to get more Blu-rays than DVDs. So that's what you're seeing back there. Yeah. Anyway, so let's get started. Let's talk about the movies I have in the collection. Starting off, we have all four movies of the Mortal Kombat Legends movies. I was hoping they'd make a fifth one, but it doesn't look like they're going to be making any more. But it was really cool to get collect all four, even though Battle of the Realms is kind of meh. I wanted to have it for collection's sake. So it was really cool to finally get all four of them. And I really do wish that we would get more Mortal Kombat Legend movies. I think it's a lot of untapped potential right there. Following that, we have The Descent, the original unrated cut. I love this movie. Neil Marshall was one of my favorite directors. I say was because like his recent string of movies have been really going downhill since the Hellboy remake he did a while back. But this is like a solid film, along with another movie which I'll get to later. But I absolutely adore The Descent. It's a great one, and the unrated cut I actually like a lot. And the sequel sucks. Descent Part 2 sucks. Following that, we have Enter the Dragon. Arguably one of my favorite action movies. Not my favorite one. We'll get to that one at some point. But Enter the Dragon, what more can I say about it? I found this, along with several other Blu-rays, at a thrift store in a town me and my girlfriend were kind of passing through. And we love going to thrift stores and like book thrift stores. Especially, to always like find, because there's gold in them Nar Hills. So we were digging around, and I found like a whole gold mine of Blu-rays of movies that were like $5 a piece. A lot of those movies I never knew they got Blu-ray releases, and this was one of them. So to get this for like $5, yeah, I was totally on board for that. Next up, we have The Haunting. The Haunting, for me, is arguably the scariest movie I've ever watched, and you may be thinking, well, why the hell do you have it in your collection, Multi, if you think it's the scariest movie you've ever seen? It is basically because, like, it's like owning your fears, you know what I mean? It's also a really solid movie. And I'm talking about, this is the original 1960s Haunting, not the Owen Wilson remake, where he gets his head bitten off by a lion bell or something like that. I can't remember. That movie sucked. But yeah, this movie's terrifying. It's really suspenseful, and I every time I watch this movie, not only am I like still disturbed by it, but like I also feel like emotionally like drained from it. Like I was like, I need to watch like fucking Bluey or something after that. Just like it's a palate cleanser. It's not gory, it's not graphic, it's just emotionally intense. Yeah. So next up we have The Fly, the original 1950s one with Vincent Price. This is a solid movie. I have the remake somewhere in this collection, but yeah, I love the original film. It's also another film where it has one of my favorite moments in horror, where the fly is in the web and going, help me, help me. I think it's not so much the help me that gets me, it's the go away. But when he's like the fly's trying to tell the spider, go away, go. It's so fucking creepy. Next up, Dusk Till Dawn. Fucking love this movie. One of Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. This is a great film. Pretty standard Blu-ray. I can't even remember where I got this. But I always wanted to have it in my collection. It's a favorite of mine. Yeah. Next up, speaking of fun movies, Van Helsing. The Van Helsing Blu-ray is like the perfect high-def movie experience. This is like a Blu-ray from a bygone past. I think like this was the era when Blu-rays were this comes from an era where Blu-rays were the new hotness. I think I found this on like Target or some website, and this is like not like a remaster. Although I would like to see a new edition. Maybe I have heard talks like Universal's talking about doing a remaster of it, but this movie gets forgotten so much, and I fucking love this movie. Is it good? No. Is it fun? Hell yeah. It's what the Dark Universe wanted to be so bad. Anyway, now for a newer movie from in the collection, Baby: Secret of the Lost Legend. Yeah, I bet this unlocked a core memory in your brain. Baby: Secret of the Lost Legend is a Mokele Mbembe movie. That's like Raiders of the Lost Ark meets E.T., like it says in the review right there. This movie was actually one of the films that got me into loving dinosaurs so much as a kid, because this was at my great-grandmother's house on VHS. And yeah, my girlfriend found this. We were at an antique store, and she found this and was like, she got it. Like, I was like, hey, you should get it. I'm like, you know what? I should. So, hell, I don't even think, actually, I just found out I haven't even opened it. The thing's still on here. That's how, like, untouched it is. Again, this is one of those movies where I was like, this got a Blu-ray release? Yeah. Is it a kid's movie? Yes. Technically, yes. There is some pretty violent moments, though. Because this movie didn't know what it wanted to be, you see. But, yeah. It also wants really hard to be Jurassic Park, if you can tell by the layout of that opening, of that title right there. But yeah, if you haven't heard of this movie, I would say check it out. It's a little uneven, but this is one of those movies that got me into loving, like, dinosaurs, so yeah. Speaking of dinosaurs, The Velocipaster. This is a dumb, stupid movie that I absolutely adore. It's a movie that's, ridiculous on purpose. It's a low-budget, like, supposed to be like a parody of, like, a Grindhouse movie, and it's about a preacher who turns into a velociraptor. It's ridiculous, and he fights ninjas. I don't think I can sell you any harder on that movie that I already have. Alright, moving right along, we have Godzilla Minus One. Yeah, did you not think I was not going to get Godzilla Minus One on Blu-ray? Because, holy shit, yeah. This movie is just perfection. Like, it's just absolute perfection. So, when it got put out on Blu-ray, I was like, I'm getting it day one. And by God, I did. So next up is a gift from a friend of mine, Chris. Chris, I don't know if you're watching this, but thank you, brother. And that is Resident Evil Death Island. I did a review of this before I got the Blu-ray because it was on Netflix for a hot minute. I don't know if it's still there or not, but yeah, I enjoy the Resident Evil animated films, most of them. And I'm kind of thinking of like maybe going out and looking for the other Resident Evil animated films. But Death Island's pretty fun. It's getting all the characters together. Is the plot weird? Yes. But it's just kind of cool to see all of these characters interact, and I think that's kind of the selling point of it. Yeah, I do have the movies stacked up next to me, so that's why I'm kind of reaching down and picking one up one at a time. Next up, this is from the same store I got Enter the Dragon, Poltergeist. Great haunting movie. Absolutely love this movie, and I wanted this. When I saw it, I was like, oh, Poltergeist, I'll grab that right now. Following that, we have John Carpenter's They Live. Now, it's funny because, like, I forgot I already had this movie on DVD, and I try to make it a point of, like, if I have the movie on DVD already, I won't get it on Blu-ray, give or take a few exceptions. Like how I kind of want the Blu-ray collection of... the Blu-ray edition of Godzilla vs. Biollante, the new Criterion one. Because the one I have, the DVD rip I have is like a collection of other movies, and the edition of Godzilla vs. Biollante is really piss poor. So I would like to get the Criterion Collection Blu-ray of it to replace it. But yeah. But I forgot, I was like in a John Carpenter mood, and I wanted to I got this in another movie, which I'll talk about in a second. And then I remembered, oh shit, I have it in a movie, They Live in a movie collection. But yeah, this is from Shout Factory, so it does give me that it is a, Shout Factory release, and I do really enjoy the what Shout Factory does when they redo a movie. So yeah. Anyway, next up, speaking of that other John Carpenter movie, In the Mouth of Madness. This is a solid Lovecraftian film, and I think it used to be a really underrated Carpenter film too. At least I think so. It has some great love. It's just a perfect Lovecraft story without using the actual Lovecraftian gods. And I know people say Carpenter was starting to dip in the 90s, but this kind of proves he still had it. Anyway, next up we have Sisu, a solid movie from Norway about an old man killing Nazis. Apparently, the sequel is coming out this year. This November, we're getting the sequel to this movie, so I'm excited. Hopefully, it can capture that action, but at the same time, I'm also did the movie... I feel like the movie didn't need a sequel. I feel like it was an open-shut story, so maybe it'll be a prequel talking about, the character who's only known as Koshchei, which is a reference to Koshchei the Deathless from Slavic Russian mythology, because the character brutally before that was a Finnish soldier who was fighting the Russian regime, the Russian Stalin regime. So maybe it'd be cool if it was a prequel showing how he got that title. That'd be kind of neat. Anyway, following that, we have Mad Max Fury Road and The Road Warrior. I have been meaning to get Furiosa. I really loved Furiosa. It's just been on my to-do list, but, I got to put money where other things are. So Furiosa has been on the list. I would love to have that in my collection. Yeah. But I really wanted Mad Max Fury Road, and The Road Warrior is also a solid film, too. So at least I wanted to get those Mad Max films. Next up, we have the Fly remake, the David Cronenberg remake. Yeah, great body horror film, and it was a film I also really wanted to put next to the original Vincent Price Fly as well, which I don't know why it got separated, but oh well, I'll fix that later. Now we move on to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. The reason why I did in my original collection, I had Ghostbusters 1, but Chris, coming in like the bro that he is, got me Ghostbusters 2. It's actually kind of a great story because some of the movies he sent me in like a package, like a pack, like out of a nowhere package, which I thought was another comic drop. But actually, and keep in mind, I had just gotten out of hearing a very I just had a rough day. I had a really bad day. And then Chris came, told me, hey, you got a package. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I opened up, it's full of movies. And this was one of those movies. So I actually like Ghostbusters 2. I think it's pretty fun. Is it as good as the first one? No. But I don't think it's this steaming pile of shit that everyone thinks it is. It's probably been the best Ghostbusters movie since Ghostbusters, considering the other films we've had. So, maybe looking back now, people will go, was Ghostbusters 2 that bad? I think that's even starting to make it like that. Also, what's weird about these Blu-ray DVD, these Blu-ray, why did I say DVDs? These Blu-rays have like a weird like latch opening, and I hate that because it's such a pain in the ass to open. Yeah, like a weird like little latch you have to poke at and then open. I don't know why they do that, just to make it look fancier. I'm glad they got rid of that for Blu-rays, because it was just like, okay, it's just going to snap off anyway. And then it's just going to be hanging, it's just going to be hanging open. I fucking hate that. But having said that, though, it's just, I love Ghostbusters, so to get these two movies, and Chris, thank you once again. But yeah. Let me just grab the last of this pile right here, and I'll just put it away. Following that, we have the Simpsons movie. I really love The Simpsons, and I was dying to get the Simpsons movie. So one day I was like, you know what, fuck it, I want to get the Simpsons movie. And I still think it's fun. I'm not going to get into a debate of if Simpsons should be canceled by now or whatever. I'm not, but I wanted to get... The movie's fun. It's very quotable. All right. Next up, we have The Shining. This was from that thrift store that I got the other two, like Poltergeist and Enter the Dragon from. I got it because I had Doctor Sleep on DVD, and it's one of those movies where like maybe I should get that one on Blu-ray, but who knows? Because the Blu-ray had the extended edition, which I think is much better than the original. Not to say the theatrical cut's bad, but I think I've seen the extended edition, and I was like, man, I kind of want that more. But anyway, I digress. But I was like, you know what? I'm not like the biggest Shining fan, but like the more I thought, I was like, yeah, I do want that on Blu-ray. I would like to own that. So finally I was like, you know what? It's right there. I'm just going to grab it. And grab it I did. Next up, we have Prey. Another movie that I was like I was hoping for a physical release, and I was worried Disney was just going to leave it on Hulu. And so when I heard we were getting official Blu-ray release of Prey, I rushed to go get a copy because I was like, I desperately want this movie in my collection. I really hope also we get a physical release of Predator Killer of Killers. That's coming out next week, and I'm really worried for that one especially that they're just going to leave it on streaming as opposed to Prey. But hopefully we can like bother Disney enough to make them put out a physical release of Killer of Killers, because I really want that to have that in my Predator and Alien collections. So if we can bully them to pull out Prey, we can put it out for Killer of Killers. Anyway, next up we have 13 Assassins, one of my favorite samurai films. Not my all-time favorite, but this is definitely one of them. For those who don't know, this is about a group of 13 samurai who plot to kill a psychotic prince who's about to take the throne. It's a pretty slow burn movie, but that third half, second half of the movie, excuse me, is just it's a great payoff. It's some of the bloodiest action I've seen in a long time, and it's a solid samurai film. I don't think people talk enough about 13 Assassins. I think it's brutal and awesome. Next up, we have Silence of the Lambs, one of my favorite horror movies. I have debated on getting the other movies, even though I don't... but the thing is, I don't really care much for the other Hannibal Lecter sequels. I'm just kind of like... I just like Silence of the Lamb on its own. Like, the other movies, like Red Dragon and Hannibal, I'm just like, I don't think I need them. But yeah, when I found this at like a cheap price, I was like, yeah, I'll get it. Next up, I'm just gonna talk about all three of these real quick. Aliens, and Alien Romulus. Yeah, if you were wondering why I put Alien Romulus in the middle, I put it canonically. I put the DVD collection canonically. That was the same thing I did with Mortal Kombat Legends, where I was like, I am going to put these in the canonical order they're supposed to be. I don't know, maybe it's an OCD or autism thing, but like, it just made sense to me. But yeah, so since Alien Romulus is in between, yeah, this is one of the newer collections I got, and I was... I'm very happy with it. I've actually looked at the special features, and I love the special features they put in here, like the painstaking work they did with digital and putting the physical and making a marriage of digital and physical effects. So, yeah. Alien Romulus is really solid. The Alien and Aliens edition... their Blu-rays. The Alien one's pretty solid. Kind of giving a really solid audio commentary. And my only gripe was with this Alien and Aliens Blu-ray is that I wish they could show the extended editions, not in special features, but have the ability to play the extended editions of those films. Anyway, so there we go. We got 2 more piles to go, so strap in, everybody. So, first off, The Northman. This is my favorite Robert Eggers movie. This is a great revenge story. It's brutal, and I really love, again, the special features in here are kind of bare bone, but Eggers at least gives you like a solid story to tell in here. And yeah, the only Eggers movie I'm missing is his first one, The Witch. I'm usually not a art house horror guy, but I think Eggers is one of those exceptions to the rule. So, and it's funny, like, my girlfriend got me the Lighthouse on DVD. I've managed to get this and his other movie. We'll get to that one later. But yeah, The Witch is the only one I'm missing, and I'd love to have that in the Blu Ray collection. Again, to quote Shrek, it's on my to-do list. Following that, we have Psycho and Psycho 2. I love Psycho, but I gotta be honest, and it's kind of a controversial take, I like Psycho 2 just a wee bit more. I think Psycho 2 is a great story about Norman Bates himself, and it's kind of a tragic horror story, really, with a lot of solid blood and guts effects of because this was the height of the slashers of the 1980s. Yeah, so, and also this is the Psycho 60th anniversary edition. I really like the Psycho Uncut, which has the extended scenes. I also really like... there's also a great feature, and I don't know why it's so cool to me, but there's a great feature in here with the shower scene with and without music. And for some reason, it's way more haunting without the music, without the classic dun fun 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 music. You know what I'm saying? Like it's way more scary. It's creepier, probably because it feels more real without the music. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then there's like newsreel footage. This is kind of fun. But again, the second movie I like more. I have been debating getting Psycho 4 I've watched and didn't like, but Psycho 3 I kind of banty back and forth if I want to get that or not. I don't know. Maybe one day you'll see it in the next edition of these videos of these Blu-ray collections. But Psycho 2 I really love, but Psycho's special edition special features are always good. Anyway, moving on now to you're going to see a lot of from this company. And goddamn chair. That's another thing I need to get on my list. Get rid of this fucking chair. Anyway, Theater of Blood. Theater of Blood. This comes from Kino Labor, who do a lot of like cult classic or oddball films, and so it's just a weird menagerie of films. But one of those films, Theater of Blood, which is a Vincent Price movie. If you don't know what this movie's about, it's a really solid Vincent Price performance where he plays a jilted Shakespearean actor who is now murdering his critics one by one in the vein of Shakespeare stories. It's really fun. We get to see a really unhinged performance from Vincent Price. I think it's one of his best performances in movies. It's a lot of fun. It's dumb, ridiculous, and it knows what it is. I will say that the opening kill is very giallo, and if you ever seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Next from Kino Labor is Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, fun fact, is the reason why we have Black Sabbath, the band. So, fun story about this movie. According to Ozzy Osbourne, Ozzy and the rest of the band were called Rainbow at a time, and they were playing a show, but everyone was going to see this movie called Black Sabbath, this one right here, and they were like, hey, name recognition, let's change our name to Black Sabbath, and hence they did, and they never looked back. So Black Sabbath is a movie directed by Mario Bava, who has done like Pieces, and he's a great giallo director, and it also stars Boris Karloff. It's essentially a trilogy it's a horror anthology that has some really solid scares in it. There's a story of the Vodolak, which is a vampire story from Russia that predates Dracula by, I think, 200 years. There's a story about a call girl who keeps getting called by the ghost of her boss, mob boss, and the first story is pretty scary, called Drop of Water. I don't want to spoil that one a lot because it's so fucking haunting. I'm not a big fan of horror anthology movies outside of like Creepshow and a few others, but like this is one of those that really stuck with me because it has that kind of giallo feel mixed with Tales from the Crypt kind of storytelling. But yeah. Next up, a new addition to the collection, Boy Kills World, one of my favorite movies from 2024, and it still sucks that this movie did not get the recognition I feel like it deserved. This is a great action movie. It's also really fun. And again, I cannot believe this movie did not get as big as it did. The goddamn marketing was awful for it. This is a solid movie. It's like the closest we'll get to a live action Far Cry movie that does that. Yeah, go get that movie if you haven't seen it. Next up, Evil Dead Rise. This was a gift from Chris. This was a this I really love Evil Dead Rise. There is not a single bad Evil Dead movie as far as I'm concerned, and I can't wait to be like, oh, Evil Dead Rise actually sucked. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. All right. There has never been a bad Evil Dead movie. You just want to be cool because it's new. I guarantee you, when Evil Dead Burns comes out, when Evil Dead Burn comes out and trying to tongue tied comes out next year, people are gonna bitch and moan like, "Oh, that isn't good." And could it suck? Yeah, there's always the propensity that a movie could suck. But again, we have the director of that film did a great spider horror movie called Infested, which that's a movie I would love to get on Blu-ray as well. But yeah, after seeing that movie, I'm like, okay, he's gonna do a great job. But yeah, love this movie. It was a great return of the Evil Dead. Next up, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Warriors. This was part of that thrift store collection I found. And yeah, The Warriors is a great 70s grindhouse kind of film. If you haven't heard of this movie, it's basically about a New York gang who get framed for murdering a gang leader, and they have to get back to Coney Island, where they live. This is where the whole Warriors come out and play, that whole scene takes place, just to jog your memory. Next up, another one of my favorite action movies and one of my favorite Christmas movies, Die Hard. Again, part of that collection of movies, and this is just a lot. This movie's just fun. It's just so much fun, and when I showed my girlfriend this the first time last Christmas, she loved it. Like, she thought it was like, is this going to be dumb? She's not an action movie fan, but when I sat her down to show her this movie, she was like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" Yeah. And yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Shut the fuck up. Next up, Battle Royale. Another solid movie. This is I had never seen Battle Royale until I had gotten the Blu-ray. I had always heard about it and knew it was one of those gory almost like J-horror movies. And I always wanted to watch it. And I did, and I never looked back. It's such a great film. I could see why the inspiration for a lot of, horror films over here. And yeah, or horror action movies. Yeah. And also, this is the only version of Hunger Games I ever want to watch. Anyway, next up we have Reanimator. This is one of my favorite, a great horror film and one of the best Lovecraft adaptations. This is a pretty solid, actually, Blu-ray. Getting interviews with Stuart Gordon and Brian Usna, the creators of this film, and I'm just reading them off real fast. You've got deleted extended scenes. You've got some solid interviews, and also an interview with Fangoria editor about the film. I have talked about this movie a lot, and it's a movie when I saw it in that thrift store, I was like, that's mine. For $5, that's mine. I don't know whose Blu Ray collection got dumped out, because that was also where I got Battle Royale and all the other movies. I was like, I don't know what grindhouse guy kicked the bucket or just wanted to get rid of his Blu Ray collection, but one man's trash is another man's treasure, as always. Now then, moving on now to Kill Bill, Volume 1. I don't have Volume 2. It's, again, on the Blu-ray to-do list. But I gotta be honest, I love Volume 1 more than I do Volume 2. I think that's kind of the general consensus, that Volume 1 is more love. Not to say Volume 2 isn't bad, but, Volume 1 is a film everyone loves. The genuine consensus is everyone loves that movie more than Volume 2. It's a great, almost like spaghetti western, and see the anime inspiration and whatnot. Yeah, but again, Volume 2's on the list, but it's just to-do list. Next up, we have Dog Soldiers, another Blu-ray that was sent to me by Chris, and this is the Shout Factory release. And I love Shout Factory releases of movies. We've got like audio commentary from Neil Marshall. We've got making of. We've got some pretty solid like behind the scenes when it comes to it. This is by far my favorite werewolf movie, and one of my favorite movies in general. Like, if I was to do, like, top 100, this be on here. Because I couldn't just do a top 10. And I please don't ask that as a Patreon request. I don't want to do, like, listing off 100 movies for a solid however the fuck it'd take. But this is the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. So, and I didn't know that, like, I didn't know they would still do Blu-ray DVD combo. But this collector's edition is pretty solid. The only thing, and even like Neil Marshall has said, the only thing is that the film quality is still like a TV ratio. Basically, because they lost the original cut of the film, so they couldn't do like a full restoration of the movie. So that's kind of the problem. Like, all they can do is really clean it up, and only clean it up for so much. Moving right along, we have The First Omen. I had no expectations for this movie, and it became my favorite movie of 2024. I had to get this movie. I'm not even a big fan of The Omen, and when I saw this movie, I was like, why did we all think this was gonna suck? Even I thought it was gonna suck, and did not. It's a great horror film, and yeah. I wish more people would talk about it, and yeah. Next up, a new addition to the Christmas circuit, Violent Night. This is one of the first Blu-rays I ever got. Like, when I was starting to collect Blu-rays over DVDs, when I got a proper thing to play play Blu-rays, excuse me, I basically was like, I'm going to start getting Blu-rays now. Because also at this time, Blu-rays were getting cheaper. I'm not made of money. But I was like, I have to get this, and another movie we'll get to at some point once I dig through all these movies. But Violent Night is a great Christmas action movie, and Dave Harbour is hilarious in here. I also love, like, just solid behind the scenes and, like, extended stuff. Yeah, if this was, again, it was really cool when I started collecting Blu-rays. I was like, this is going to be on that list. And sure enough, I did get it. Next up, we have another Shout Factory release, and that is Tarantula. I love these 50s giant bug movies, and yeah, Tarantula is a lot of fun. It is, it has good old John Agar in there. If you know who John Agar is, then you know why that's so funny. But yeah, this movie's just fun B-movie campy goodness, and one of the most relevant bug movies ever. So yeah. Next up, we have Twister. I hate Twisters. Original movie, love it. And I gotta be honest, when I saw this for like $5 at like a Walmart, yeah, I think I did get it at a Walmart. $5 at a Walmart, I was like, yoink, because like the original movie's a great disaster film, and also Bill Paxton's just awesome. Yeah, so when I saw Twister, I was just like, yeah, that's me. Next up, we have Boris Karloff in The Body Snatcher. This is a Val Lewton movie. For those who don't know what a Val Lewton movie is, Val Lewton was a very big producer at RKO Studios. And essentially what it is, Val Lewton's films are not like your basic run-of-the-mill like horror movies. They're more like suspense and tension. In fact, the dude literally invented the jump scare with the cat people, which I really want to find that on Blu-ray. I know it has a Criterion release, but it's hella expensive. Yeah, this is also a Shout Factory or Scream Factory release. It's a great restoration too, and I think it also probably has Boris Karloff's best performance outside of the monster. But like in terms of like physical roles, it's the Frankenstein monster. But in terms of The Body Snatcher, this is probably his best acting performance. Yeah. Is it a little slow? I don't know if anyone's going to get it, because again, this isn't a horror movie in the typical sense. But yeah, it's basically the story is it's based off of a Robert Louis Stevenson story, the guy who wrote Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Treasure Island, and it's about a doctor who's kind of hiding that he's a fraud, and Boris Karloff plays a body snatcher who collects bodies for him and always threatens to expose him. It also has Bela Lugosi in the film as well, and it's kind of depressing to see Bela at that point. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you want to check out like a film that isn't your typical like black and white horror film of the golden age of horror. Yeah, moving on now to Thanksgiving, solid slasher film. I was very excited to get. I was like, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I really wanted this, and I was not let down from the Blu-ray release at all. I especially love the outtakes in here. I don't know why, but there's just some solid, hilarious outtakes in there. Next up, we have Seven. I got this at a Dying Big Lots. I found this. I was like, oh, there's a movie I really enjoy, and I never thought I'd find on Blu-ray. This is kind of a bare bones one, but I do enjoy like the title sequence. Like, there's a special thing they do about the title sequence, which is actually a lot more fascinating than it sounds. But yeah, love this movie. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. It was only like $3. I was not gonna say no to getting 7 for $3. Next up, we have another Kino Lorber release, and that is The Raven. This is a three-way film of Vincent Price, Peter Lorre, and Boris Karloff, and this is a Roger Corman production. This was the Corman-Poe cycle, and it's more comedy than it is horror. In fact, it's way more comedy than horror, but it's so much fun. Like, to see all these actors play off of each other is amazing, and I think that's kind of the selling point of it. Is it as dark as the other ones? No, it's not even close, but it's pretty fun. It's just kind of fun. I would say you could probably entertain your kids with this one. Maybe. Next up, we have Bad Moon, a werewolf movie from the early 90s. This movie is it's an okay werewolf movie. I think the werewolf design is fine. The CGI transformations are ass. But I will say I wanted more werewolf movies on Blu-ray, because a lot of the werewolf movies I do have are on DVD, and I have a shocking number of vampire movies on Blu-ray, more than DVD. But yeah, Bad Moon is still good. And I was like, you know what? I would like to own Bad Moon. I think there are some solid horror moments in it, and there is a shocking amount of bad horror werewolf movies. This is more of the, it's not awful. That's where it kind of lands for me, at least. Next up, we have the king of what I consider the king of giant bug movies, Them. I used to have this on DVD, lost it, and now I was like, when I saw it on Blu-ray, I was like, I have to have it. I have to have it back in the collection. It's a childhood memory for me, essentially, so I had to get it. Next up, we have Starship Troopers Marauder. This is an animated Starship Troopers film, and I've been meaning to get the original film in live action. Like, it's on the Blu-ray to-do list, is to get the original first movie in there. You know, the first movie in the collection. But this is a pretty fun one. I think it's more closely tied to the book than the actual movies. But it's still pretty solid. Following that, we have Q the Winged Serpent, a nice creature feature film from a director who really, the only reason he made this movie was because the movie he was going to make, the director was basically making a movie, Larry Cohen. Yeah, Larry Cohen, that's the director's name. He had a film being made, but then it got canceled. So he was literally in his hotel room, and he loved how nice it was. He's like, I don't want to leave this hotel yet. I'm going to make a movie just so I could justify staying here. And this was the product. It's kind of it's an interesting creature feature. I love the the stop motion they used for the movie, and David Carradine gives at least a performance that isn't bullshitting. Kinda. He gives somewhat of a fuck performance. Next up, we have the remake of The Invisible Man. This great movie, and I was dying to have this one. Will I be getting the Wolfman remake by Lee Whannell? Absolutely fucking not. Now we come to RoboCop. This is the Arrow release, and this is the only Arrow video I think I have in the collection. And boy, is it so cool. We got the director's cut of the movie. We've got special features out the wazoo. We've got, character analysis on each one. This is really cool. I really love this. This Blu Ray release of RoboCop. I think it's a great restoration of it, too. And yeah, I would love to get RoboCop 2 on Blu Ray. I actually like RoboCop 2. Is it ridiculous? Yeah. But that's what you get with a Frank Miller script. Especially like full 80s script. Anyway. Next up, we have Sundown, The Vampire in Retreat. This movie is basically about David Carradine, who plays Dracula, and he's basically made a commune for vampires who want to no longer harm humans, and it has Bruce Campbell playing the grandson of Van Helsing. I think I've sold you on that enough. Next up, we have a very classic Blu-ray of Reign of Fire, a dragon apocalypse movie. I love also these original first edition Blu-rays where they have that kind of weird scene, this weird side circle to it. It just showcases how old this is. I also love the extras in here, the bare bones. Breathing Life into the Terror, Conversations with Rob Bowman, the director, and Below the Line, If You Can't Stand the Heat. Anyway, now for the first ever Blu-ray I got. Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. I'm not joking, this is my first Blu-ray I got. This is another Shout Factory release, and this is a Hammer Shaw Brother collaboration where it had Dracula possess a vampire monk, and he's trying to resurrect 7 golden vampires, and Van Helsing teams up with siblings to do kung fu with. It's an insane movie, and it isn't the best representation of either Hammer or the Shaw Brothers, but it's fun, dumb fun. I said fun twice just to illustrate it. If you can find it, I highly recommend it. If you ever wanted to see kung fu vampires, here's your chance. Speaking of early Blu-rays I collected, Cocaine Bear. This was also when I got Violent Night. I saw both of them together, and I was like, I'm going home with both. And Cocaine Bear is again, it's not anything to cry home about as an Oscar-winning movie, but it is a fun movie. I also love that it's the Maximum Rampage edition, extended features and whatnot. Yeah, I just kind of like it. I think, to quote Marge, I just think it's neat. I'm going to go through the last few I have real fast. The original 1970s Westworld. I love this movie. I remember watching this on AMC. Do you guys remember, or TCM, as a kid, and was really interested in it. If you were ever a fan of the show and wanted to see where it all comes from, here's your chance. Yeah. Next up, we have Rawhead Rex, another Kino Lorber release. Rawhead Rex is not a good movie, but I think it's dumb, gory fun, and without it, we wouldn't get Clive Barker going, nope, I'm not letting anyone else direct my movies other than me, so step back, I'm going to do Hellraiser myself. And yeah, to be fair to the creators, the original Rawhead Rex story by Clive Barker, the original monster, Rawhead, is a giant penis monster spraying acid come out of its mouth. I don't think we could get away with making it anything other than this. It's also a fun, like, I love the monster design of how doofy it is, and it's just fun, gory. Like, I love me some monster shit. So if you're a diehard Clive Barker fan, you know this movie sucks. But at the same time, like, I think it's if you love dumb, gory films, here you go. Next up, Abigail. Love this movie. Was really excited when it came out on Blu-ray. It's a great Universal monster movie that I don't think got enough love, but I think it is like gaining a lot of traction as a solid film. And yeah. Next up, The Terror Beyond. Another Kino Lorber. I order a lot from Kino Lorber. They have some solid picks. Some of them are oddball. But yeah. So this movie is a great 1950s classic that actually inspired Ridley Scott's Alien. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend it. It's a great sci-fi horror film. Does it still have some 50s campiness? Yeah, but it actually does a lot of great atmosphere and claustrophobia for a movie of its time. Next up, real fast, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Are they great covers? No. Were they? Did I find them at a decent price? Yes. Did I just want the movie? Yes. Both this is the 40th anniversary, so we had some solid features in here, and I think that we also have a Gunnar Hansen interview, which is sad because I think this is one of the last interviews he did. The other one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, this one's kind of bare bones, but again, I found it like pre-owned, and I was like, you know what, that's going to come home with me. I will say though, the cover does not do this movie justice. I really wish the movie had the like Breakfast Club parody cover. It's just like, I really wish this cover was better. You know what I mean? Anyway, next up, Friday the 13th Part 2. Got this at the same place I got 7. I enjoy the Jason movies, but I really only have a few of the Jason films, not counting Freddy vs. Jason. By that I mean I have this and Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, on DVD. That's really it. Jason movies, I want to collect, but again, they're on the Blu-ray to-do list, but they're not very high, because, you've seen one Jason movie, you've seen them all. And next up, we have The Raid Redemption, one of my favorite movies and arguably my favorite action movie. It's a solid action film, and there's some really solid special features on this collection. I think this is just I would love to get a re-release of this from maybe Shout Factory or something. But again, I really have to stress, I hate it has the stupid latch thing. I'm glad we moved past that. So, following that, we have Night of the Creeps, the director's cut. This is a great movie. I love it. Night of the Creeps is an 80s film that tries to be like a gorier version of a 50s movie involving like alien parasites and zombies. It also has one of my favorite scenes with Tom Atkins, who plays a detective, and his catchphrase, "Throw me." It's a great film. So the next one's going to be an oddball one. Baxter. This is a Kino Lorber movie, and yeah, I have this movie, and I haven't even watched it. So this one involves kind of a story. So a while back, my girlfriend's dog had passed away. It was a bull terrier, and she was very sad and found a book called Hellhound, which was a bull terrier who like imagined killing his owner, an old lady, to go be with a kid who really liked Hitler. That's just part of the book. It's weird. And they did a movie adaptation in France. And I was like, I know the book, so I might want to watch this, and it's really fucked. This movie is so weird, and my girlfriend was like, I don't think I want it, and I'm like, fair enough. So now it's just kind of sitting in my collection. It's a thoroughly fucked movie. It's a very French, one of those French indie movies. So I'm talking. There's some serious shit in it. and also they're not really kind to dogs. So, I'm stuck with it. It's like, why don't you just sell it? Who's gonna buy this? Really? You know, I'm not the smartest person in the shed, in case it's obvious. I was like trying to do a good thing, and I was like, oh, never mind. And even she was like, I never showed her the movie, but because she was like, hey, can you like, I didn't because she bought the book right after the dog passed. So she was like, hey, I read the book. I stopped reading because I didn't like it. If that's an adaptation of the book, can you at least watch it and give me the go ahead if I'll like it? So I watched it, and I was like, I called her back and went, yeah, no. It's the thought that counts, right, guys? Anyway, Terminator and Terminator 2. Yeah. I actually am thinking about getting Terminator 3 because, like, comparatively speaking to the other Terminator sequels, is T3 so bad? Come on. But it's not even on the list. But, yeah, I really desperately wanted both Terminator movies in my Blu Ray collection. These are T2 is one of the best movies ever. So, of course, I was going to get it. Following that, we have Pulp Fiction. I'm a big Tarantino guy. I don't know if that's been obvious yet. There are a few other movies of Tarantino's that I want to have in the collection. Like, I still want to get Django Unchained. I haven't found that on Blu-ray anywhere. I'd love to get Django Unchained. But I really wanted Pulp Fiction. It's not my all-time favorite Tarantino movie. We'll get to that one later. But it's one of my favorites. I would dare say that it's always a toss-up between Django and this movie's my second favorite Tarantino movie. But I do love Tarantino films in general. It was also the first Tarantino movie I ever watched. Also, yes, I was too young to be seeing Pulp Fiction. Next up, Bone Tomahawk. Bone Tomahawk is a great Western horror film that involves Kurt Russell and Patrick Wilson and a few other great actors in here, too, about these cannibalistic, troglodyte-like creatures carrying off several members of a town, and the sheriff, played by Kurt Russell, goes to rescue them. It's a great Western horror movie, and it's really brutal. You've probably seen it on Tubi and a few other streaming sites, but I really wanted the physical release, because, having physical is always better than, depending on a streaming site who could just get rid of it and also get rid of all your shit in a heartbeat. That's why I always try to get physical no matter what. Next up, another Shout Factory release, The Deadly Mantis. Another dumb, fun, giant bug movie. And starring John Agar. If you've ever seen Brendan Tenhold's videos, you'll understand why John Agar is such a fun thing. Following that, we have Dracula, the Frank Langella movie, which I actually, and Laurence Olivier as Van Helsing. You also have Donald Pleasance in the movie too. I like this. I don't know why people shit on this variation of Dracula. It was Universal's, I think 1970s, 1980s remake. Is Frank Langella kind of the weird choice for Dracula? Yeah, but he does sell it. It's Frank Langella's performance is no Gary Oldman or Christopher Lee, but I think he does a good enough job. He is definitely kind of it also has a giallo feel to it too, and I think it's pretty solid. Is it one of the best Dracula films? No, but I think it's kind of underrated too. Anyway, this is a very recent acquisition to the collection, and that is the Quatermass Experiment. The Quatermass Experiment is an early, also this is a Kino Lorber one. The Quatermass Experiment is basically a sci-fi horror film from early Hammer, and it's a great film about a professor named Quatermass, who was part of a sci-fi novel series, and it involves a astronaut who comes back from space after being attacked by some parasitic entity. It's a great sci-fi horror story, but it is kind of a slow burn. But you got to stick with it. It's pretty solid. I really want to get the other two Quatermass movies from Hammer. Next up, we have The Godfather, another recent acquisition. This movie, I don't think I need to tell you guys why this movie is so awesome. It's one of the greatest movies ever. This movie, however, is kind of different for me because there are in my family there are like three tent poles films in our life. It's Godfather, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and Tombstone, which I kind of do want to get those two movies on Blu-ray as well. But yeah, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Godfather, and Tombstone are like tent poles in this family. Like they are like, no matter what, we're going to sit down and watch them, like as a collective family. Weird collection, I know, but hey, it's all solid quality. So yeah, but Godfather, what more can I say? I do want to get Godfather 2 on Blu-ray too. Godfather 3... Now, my favorite Tarantino movie. I love Reservoir Dogs. I absolutely love it. And when I found this on Blu-ray for like $7, I was like, sold. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is just when I know like Reservoir Dogs for me is like the quintessential Tarantino movie, and I love all the action, the humor, all of it. Yeah, and it was like on my list for Blu-rays. I'm still looking for Django Unchained. I really want Django Unchained on Blu-ray. So that's on the to-do list too. Anyway, now for another I actually got this alongside Reservoir Dogs. Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, I walked out of a store with Reservoir Dogs and Little Shop of Horrors. It's just kind of the guy I am. I love this movie. It's a movie I enjoyed as a kid, and I love the humor in it. The songs are great, and yeah, I was just like, it's cheap. It's like $7. I'll just take that too. I'm not gonna say no to a $7 movie. If it was like higher priced, I probably would have skipped it. But having seen it's like a solid Blu-ray, like a decent enough Blu-ray of it, and it was cheap, I was like, I'll just take that too. Why not? Next up is The Abominable Snowman of the Himalayas. This is a Shout Factory release of a early Hammer film. This movie's great. No one talks about this movie. If I ever redo my list of top 10 favorite like Bigfoot / Yeti movies, which I did a while back, I would absolutely love to do. I think this would be on the list, very high on the list too. The movie is essentially, does have Peter Cushing, who plays a professor along with a group of American big game hunters who travel to Mount Everest to find proof of the Yeti. And it's very atmospheric. It's very horrifying. It's a great horror film. And it's this is an early Hammer film, and it also feels like a Robert Eggers movie with the atmosphere and like the tone, the psychological horror of it. And yes, I'm not saying like, oh, there's no Yeti, it was all in their heads. No, there are Yetis in here. And they're used, I will say they are used sparingly, but the times we see them are chilling, no pun intended. But yeah, if you want to find like a good Bigfoot movie and a good Hammer film that doesn't get talked about enough, here you fucking go. Now we come to Happy Birthday to Me. This is a bonkers slasher film. If this movie is about a girl who gets plagued with visions after her mom is killed in an accident and her friends start getting picked off. I'm giving you the bare bones because if you have not seen Happy Birthday to Me, you are in for a treat. Now moving on to another DVD sent to me by my friend Chris. Thank you once again, bro. And that is Mayhem. This movie, the only problem, again, it's that stupid Blu-ray latch. I'm glad they got rid of it. But yeah, this movie is a movie about a guy who gets fired the day of a rage virus infects his office building. It's everyone against each other as he kills his way to get to his bosses. It's a great Shudder original. I think it was one of their first originals, actually. So I really dug it, and it was kind of cool to get that Chris sent it to me. I didn't know he was sending it to me. Following that, we have 30 Days of Night, great vampire film, and yeah, this is one of those early Blu-rays, as you can tell. Yeah, this one was like $5, and I was like, I really want that, so I got it. It's like one of those, want those, take it. Next up, another gift from Chris, and that is the Monster Squad. Another Kino Labor one. The Monster Squad is a great tribute. Even though it is a Paramount movie, it is a solid, 100% solid tribute to the classic monsters. There's some great action in here. It's like, again, it's the Goonies meet the monsters. You know, what more can I say? So when Chris sent it, I was like, no way he sent me Monster Squad. Following that, we have the unrated director's cut of Dawn of the Dead, the Zack Snyder one, and Land of the Dead. Now, the reason it isn't with my Blu Ray collections sets is because it's two separate movies. So I was like, I kind of have a rule if it's like a collection of movies that are in the same canon and whatnot, I was gonna put it there. But this is the remake of Dawn of the Dead with George A. Romero's Land of the Dead. Again, it was another movie from Chris. Thank you once again, bro, for these and the others. And yeah, I really Dawn of the Dead. Say what you will about the Snyderverse, which you can say a lot of. The Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead is 100% one of the best horror remakes out there. And Land of the Dead, while it's not as like impactful as Romero's other of the Dead films, I still like it. I mean, it's still a banger. I'm gonna talk about these two back to back. That is Nosferatu and the Robert Eggers remake. So, is it weird that I got an in public domain movie for like $20? Yeah, but again, I like to own physical media, and Nosferatu is one of the most influential movies of all time. Not just horror, but like movies in general. So to get it, and this is the 2-disc remaster edition that Kino put out, and this was the other reason I got it was because this is what everyone says, like, even though the movie's public domain, this is the rendition of the film you want. It has a great score to it. It has a great like film clean to it, and also the special features pretty solid too. So I had to get it, and I really don't feel bad that I did. I'm happy. I was happy with this collection. And of course, Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Moment it came out on Blu-ray, I was like, I'm going day one to go get this movie. It's my second favorite of the Eggers films. Still, The Northman being my favorite. So we'll see where Werewolf lands next year. Following that, we have Arachnophobia. I hate spiders. I fucking hate spiders. But I love this movie. Even though, yes, sometimes after watching it, I have to like check my shoes and whatnot. But this is another family film that I grew up with, so I was like, yeah, $5? Fuck yeah, I'll grab that. Oh, this one's going to be a sad one. Candyman. Shout Factory release. This was their collector's edition that they did, and I think they did it's a great 2-disc one too. We have the unrated cut and the original cut to it too. I like both versions, and there are just some great special features, like talking with Clive Barker. We have a commentary with, I believe Tony's on the commentary, and again, love this movie, and rest in peace, Tony. Miss you, man. Following that, we have another movie that was gifted to me by Chris. Thank you once again, bro. And that is The Monster. The Monster is about it's an A24 film where a young girl and her alcoholic mother get plagued by a monster in the woods. There's a little more to it than that, but that's kind of the general thought. Next up, we have Red Sonja, Queen of Plagues. This is a motion comic of Gail Simone's early runs of Red Sonja, and I was actually going to get this as a birthday present for my girlfriend because she loves Red Sonja, especially the Gail Simone Red Sonja. And then I realized she has this already, so I kept it, which I don't hate. I was just like, fuck. To be fair, I found it at like Dollar Tree for like $1. Of course it was a Dollar Tree. Now moving on now to Tremors. This is the only Steelbook I have. It's a pretty decent one. I think it's a little much for a Steelbook, but yeah, I love the movie, and I would love to get the other Tremor films too, but I'm not in a rush to grab them. there isn't a lot of special features to this one, I'm sorry to say. So I was like, why? I was like, Steelbook, sure. But, yeah. I was just like, yeah, I'll get it. Following that, we have The Exorcist. This edition I got at like a horror convention I went to, and this is a special like extended. This is like a 50th anniversary edition, and it's really cool because I like it was a book. There's like a whole special features book in here that you can take out. Oh, it also has this little message from Friedkin, which I really liked. Yeah, the special features booklet is really cool, like interviews and whatnot and behind the scenes that they didn't really talk about, and it comes with the original theatrical cut and the director's cut. This is a great one. This is a great Blu Ray collection, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the original Exorcist film. My favorite, for those who don't know, is the third movie, and I still need to get Exorcist 3 on Blu Ray, but. I looked through this at the convention. I was like, I've never seen a Blu-ray with a book inside and have this much information on it. So I had to get The Exorcist on. Anyway. Following that, we have the Criterion collection of Seven Samurai. This is a birthday present I got from my girlfriend. Yeah, this is also one of those where you have a special book inside that tells you more about the behind the scenes and whatnot, and also interviews like Kurosawa and whatnot. This is my favorite movie of all time, and I love the other 2 discs talking about special features and whatnot. Yeah, and she knew how much I love this movie and got it for me as a Christmas present last year, and I was just like, holy shit. Criterion does a great job with the restoration of this movie, so yeah, I'm very happy with that film and having it in my collection. Same can be said with this, Ghost, right here, right now. This is another gift from my girlfriend. We both love Ghost. And yes, I'm not really a person who will collect like live performances of shows, of like concerts, but we base it like when the movie came out and was like more to it. It's a solid live performance mixed with a storyline too. So yeah, so she was happy enough to get it for me. It was really fun. Just grabbing the last one so we can speed run through it. I'm just gonna put those right there, and we're gonna speed run through all of these. Starting off with Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera, another in public domain movie, but Kino Lorber did a great restoration of this, and it's a solid 2-disc adaptation with some great interviews and like talking about like the director and also like more stuff with Lon Chaney. It's really cool. Again, is it dumb to own like a physical copy of something you can just watch online for free? Yeah, you can make that argument, but there's some solid restoration and special features in here that you can't just get online. Following that, another Kino Lorber, Orca, the Killer Whale. This movie is great. It's one of the best Jaws knockoff movies, and there's a lot more to it than just being killer orca. It's more darker than that. I highly recommend it. Moving on now to The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Love this movie. I've been meaning to get the other films like Fistful of Dollars and Few Dollars More. I absolutely love the Spaghetti Western trilogy from Clint Eastwood. And yeah, again, I've been meaning to get the other 2 films in this Spaghetti Western trilogy. But Good, the Bad, the Ugly, I was like, that I have to get now. Next up, Dead Silence, the unrated cut. Dead Silence is a great Lee Whannell film that came out. It's really underrated. This movie came out at a time of like the height of the torture porn era, and it's a great horror film with a great character who, had Mary, I forget the full name, but the character Mary and her puppets, if they came out like at a different time, like in this age, they would have been like a horror icon, no doubt about it. It's also a great atmospheric film, too, and it feels very Universal Monster. So you can see why Universal or Blumhouse turned to Whannell for Invisible Man. Too bad he couldn't keep that for Wolfman. Next up, Bride of Chucky. I love Chucky, and this is my favorite of the Chucky films. I've been meaning to get the other Child's Play films in Blu-ray, but again, it's on the to-do list. But when I started collecting Blu-rays more, I was like, I have to get Bride of Chucky. I have to get my favorite Chucky film. It's just fun. Next up, we have Dragon Slayer, a great fantasy film from Paramount and Disney. Yeah, this is technically a Disney co-production. It's a great dark fantasy film with a great dragon in it. Really love it. If you were looking for like 80s dark fantasy that isn't Conan, here's your movie. Next, Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is also where I got that thrift book film. I don't know who was dumping off their collection, but they had like Poltergeist and Reanimator and Battle Royale and Enter the Dragon in this. I love this movie. It's the sequel. I really want to get part 2. I don't want to get the other films because they're all kind of garbage in their own rights. But part 2 is bad too, but it's fun bad. This is like a fun one, and I'm kind of curious if they'll how they'll handle the remake. Next up, another Criterion film. This was a Christmas present for one of my family members. Throne of Blood, another great Akira Kurosawa film. This is a samurai retelling of Macbeth, and it's a really dark film and a great adaptation of it. I really also want to get Ron, the Kurosawa samurai adaptation of King Lear, which I also know is a great film. The problem is with trying to collect Kurosawa films is that they're under Criterion, and Criterion's really fucking expensive, even though, yes, they do great work. Next up, Sleepaway Camp. This was another gift from Chris. Sleepaway Camp is a great slasher film that's so batshit bonkers. And again, if you haven't seen the ending, or if you don't know what the ending is, not going to spoil it. Following that, we have Late Night with the Devil, another great horror film from 2024. And again, I had to get this on Blu-ray. It was no doubt about it. I had to get that one. It's such a great it's a great found footage film. Next up, The Crow, another great film. And this one, the Blu-ray, after I ordered it, it came it kind of hangs on one end because one of the latches to the Blu-ray snapped. But yeah, this was $5. I guess I got what I paid for. And finally, Salem's Lot. One of my favorite. Salem's Lot's my favorite Stephen King book. But movie adaptation. That 2024 one can go fuck itself. But this is pretty solid from Tobe Hooper. I don't know if you can call it a movie because it's a 2-part miniseries, but still, it's really solid. It's a great vampire story, and I absolutely love it. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much the Blu-ray update. So yeah, you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think of it, and if this does well enough, I might do every few months when I get more Blu-rays or enough Blu-rays, I might come back to this and show it off more. But that depends on if you guys are willing to you're curious to keep watching these. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.